and welcome back. In today's practice, you will need a bolster or a good substitute, 2 blocks, and a strap. And of course, you can always substitute these props with whatever you have at home. But to begin, we'll start in any comfortable seated position. So you may wish to use your props to elevate your seat or get really comfortable here. Find a position that feels good for you. Lengthen your spine and take a moment to close your eyes and tune in to the here and now. So, if you have ever felt stress before, which I'm sure we all have, you know how it can feel very all encompassing and permanent. We tend to often forget that everything in life is ephemeral, every moment is fleeting, even moments of stress and anxiety. So, our mantra today is this too shall pass. And this is something that can be really powerful when we feel stressed. Just reminding ourselves that this moment is not forever, and it will also pass, just like all other things. So focus on the here and now. Become totally aware of the present moment. Observe how your body feels in this moment. Observe the patterns of your breath in this moment. And observe the fluctuations of your mind. Whatever sensations or thoughts might arise, either right now or throughout this whole practice, or even throughout your whole day, continuously remind yourself that this too shall pass. So even now as you're seated here, if you feel a slight discomfort or perhaps an itch, instead of immediately reacting, see if you can pause for a moment and acknowledge that this sensation will pass. And perhaps you'll find that after acknowledging that this will pass, you don't even need to act on your impulse to move your leg or scratch your itch or whatever it may be. As we move through our practice today, we'll work with some long holds. And as you hold these shapes, as you feel sensation in your body or movements in your mind, simply remind yourself that this too shall pass. So when you feel ready, slowly flutter open your eyes and take 1 block and come to lie down on your back. Bend your knees and place your feet onto the floor, and then press down against your feet to lift your hips off of your mat and slide your block on its lowest height setting underneath your pelvis Try and place the block right onto your sacrum, which is this triangular shaped bone just below your lower back and right above your tailbone. It's at the very back of your pelvis. And it should feel like a stable place so you can really release the weight of your hips onto the block and relax down. And then soften your arms into any place of comfort. They can be by your sides, up over your head, anywhere that feels good for you. And allow your weight to melt into the floor. Perhaps close your eyes and start to slow the rhythm of your breath. Now you may wish to stay exactly as you are if this feels comfortable for you. Or if you'd prefer, you can bend into your right knee and draw it in toward your chest. You can wrap your arms around your shin and gently relax the weight of your arms toward the floor to give it some weight to anchor down. And then from here you can slide your left foot forward. And you're welcome to keep the knee bent or completely straighten your leg as you release your heel to the floor. Now you might already immediately notice some intense sensation in your left hip flexors, the front of your left thigh. So you can either keep it as it is, or if it feels a bit too intense, you can soften the knee once again. So choose a place that you can relax into. Soften the weight of your shoulders. Soften the weight of your arms. Soften the movements of your breath. And let this soften the movements of your mind. As we move longer and longer into the hold of this shape, you might notice sensations intensify. You might notice an urge to move or to wiggle around or to change positions. Remind yourself that this too shall pass. And perhaps you'll find that you don't need to act on that impulse. If your mind or your body starts to feel stressed, Remind yourself that this too shall pass, and allow yourself to release control and soften into this space. Take 3 more breaths here. If your left leg is straight, very slowly soften your knee and place your foot onto the floor. If you're holding onto your right leg, gently release it. And pause for a moment. Sink the weight of your hips towards your block and rest your hands wherever is comfortable. Observe any differences that you might feel from side to side in your body. So again, you're more than welcome to stay as you are, or if you'd like to, gently bend your left knee and draw your knee toward your chest. Interlace your fingers around your left shin. And soften the weight of your left leg toward your chest. You may choose to stay like this, or if it feels good for your body, then you might slide your right heel toward the bottom of your mat, either keeping your knee bent or completely straightening your leg. Experiment with what position feels best in your body right now. And then when you find that place, surrender into it. Observe as sensations arise. And come back to your simple mantra. This too shall pass. Remind yourself that this moment is ephemeral. So enjoy it while it lasts. Allow your body to surrender into the shape. And let this softening of your body create softness within your mind. As any stressful thoughts arise, remind yourself that this too shall pass. Even our moments of stress are ephemeral. So you don't need to cling to those thoughts. Allow them to pass through your mind as any other thought would. Take 3 more deep breaths here. If your right leg is straight, slowly bend your knee and place your foot onto the floor. If you're holding your left leg, gently release it and place your foot onto the mat. Relax your arms anywhere that's comfortable and pause for a moment to observe any effects. Gently press down against your feet to lift your hips up off of your block and slide it out from underneath you. Slowly lower your pelvis back down to the floor and walk your feet out as wide as your mat and knock your knees in toward each other. Pause for a moment and relax the weight of your lower body toward the floor. And when you feel ready, slowly walk your feet back toward each other. And then gently roll over onto one side. Press the floor away from you and rise up to sit. And from here, take both of your blocks toward the top of your mat. Place one block on its highest height nearest to the top edge of your mat, and one block either on its lowest or its medium height, a little bit away from it. And then take your bolster and place it over your blocks, so you create a little bit of an elevation. You might need to readjust the blocks a little bit to feel stable there for you to lie over it. Take your strap and make a loop into it, so you have a nice wide loop. And have the tail of the strap facing towards you so that you can adjust it really easily. And place the strap over your head and let it come down to your pelvis. So make sure that it's not in your lower back and it's not down towards your butt, but it's directly on the pelvis, so it's on the bone itself. And then turn your back to your bolster so that the bolster touch the base of the pelvis as well. And draw the soles of your feet to touch and open your knees out wide toward the sides of your mat. And it's your choice. Your heels can either be a bit further away from your pelvis or you can slide them in a little bit closer. Find what feels best for you. Now take the same loop of your strap and wrap it over your feet. And then tighten it a lot. So tighten the strap so much so that you can relax muscular control and the strap will hold your legs in place as they are. When you find a good positioning for that, release your weight back over your bolster. And then release your arms wherever is comfortable. You can place them by your sides. You can open them out wide into a T shape. You can rest them onto your lap. Find a place that feels really relaxing and restoring for you. And then close your eyes and soften your whole body. Let your props do all of the work for you. Let your strap hold your legs in place and allow your blocks and your bolster to support the weight of your torso. Relax all muscular control. And as you begin to feel sensation in the shape, remind yourself that this too shall pass. As thoughts arise when you lay here, remind yourself that this too shall pass. Try not to get stuck in any one feeling or thought. Let yourself go with the flow and follow your breath to do that. As you hold this shape for even longer, notice what comes up, both in your body and in your mind. Whatever arises, the good and the bad, remind yourself, this too shall pass. Take 5 deep breaths. On your next exhale, if your arms aren't there already, release them beside your hips. And very mindfully press into the floor to lift your weight up off of your bolster. Lean your torso forward ever so slightly so that you can release the strap from around your feet and stretch your legs forward and release the strap from over your head. You can move all your props over toward the side of your mat. And then come to find a comfortable seat. So if you want to use a prop to sit onto, then feel free to grab one. When you find your seat, sit up tall through your spine and close your eyes. Take a moment to observe how you feel right now. And just recognize if it's any different to the way you felt when you began your practice. And whatever you might be feeling now, remind yourself that this too shall pass. And remember this mantra for whenever you're feeling stressed, to remind yourself that this too shall pass, just as all things do. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Namaste.